Okay, before we get started, make sure you turn your cell phones off.
Good afternoon, everyone. For the record, Kate Brown, serving as your governor. On a more solemn, I know we're here to celebrate, but on a more solemn note, I just want to take a moment to let the Richardson family know that we are holding them in our hearts and prayers today, and that we are extremely grateful for Secretary Richardson's service to the state of Oregon. I am also very pleased to be here today to be signing Senate Bill 608 into law. This was definitely a team effort. Speaker Kotek. Senator Fagan and many, many others. Thank you for your work on this legislation, including, of course, the Oregon Law Center, Community Alliance of Tenants, and the Housing Alliance, and all of the legislators, including the Senate President, who have just done yeoman's person's work to get this done. Everyone here knows that this is a groundbreaking piece of legislation, as we are the first state in the nation to enact this level of protection for our renters. The bill is a critical tool for stabilizing the rental market throughout the state of Oregon. It will provide immediate relief to Oregonians struggling to keep up with rising rents and a tight rental market. But it doesn't work on its own. It's going to take much more work to ensure that every Oregonian in our communities, large and small, has access to housing choices that will ensure that they and their families can thrive. The housing shortage has caused Oregonians across the state to face major challenges. Nearly 14,000 Oregonians experienced homelessness for at least one day in 2017. And Oregon's home ownership rate is the 9th lowest in the country. There's no single solution for this housing crisis. We need a multifaceted approach to prevent people from slipping into homelessness, to getting people quickly off the streets, and to help all Oregonians access stable homes. My budget includes a historic $400 million in state investments to address these challenges, and the investments are focused around 4 strategies. Number 1, we must prioritize ending homelessness for Oregon's children. We need to make sure that no kid shows up to school after spending the night in a car. Number 2, we have to invest in permanent supportive housing, because we can move people from street corners and doorways into homes by investing in proven strategies. We know that costs down the line to health care, emergency response, and our criminal justice system will be reduced. We need to house our veterans. We need to continue ongoing efforts to build lasting infrastructure and deploy immediate resources for outreach, rapid rehousing, and emergency housing assistance. And of course, we need to accelerate the growth of housing supply in Greater Oregon. And it requires an all-hands-on-deck approach. And the good news is we have a lot of hands here. All of these efforts will require swift legislative action and coordination amongst philanthropy, business leaders, developers, builders, and of course local governments. Senate Bill 608 is a very bold start, but we can't stop here. We have to continue the hard work and make the significant investments that will benefit Oregonians today and into our future. Happy to take a few questions, and then I'll sign the bill.
Governor Brown, you know, this addresses tenants' issues with no-house evictions and rental rate increases. What kind of initiatives are in the works in the legislature to address the supply side part of the problem?
So I have a $400 million investment package in my budget. Most of that is dedicated toward building affordable units throughout the state, but it also provides assistance for renters and, of course, for homelessness prevention. The other piece is the $15 million investment we have in accelerator housing, and that's market rate housing in communities around the state. I know this is a very ambitious agenda. We know that in my first term as governor, we invested over $300 million, and it was literally like spreading peanut butter across a piece of toast. It was very, very thin. So we have to redouble our efforts, and that's exactly what we're going to do. And I think we have a very committed group of folks to help us make that happen.
How does the state plan to monitor whether this is working, and do you anticipate the cap ever being lowered in the future?
Great question. I would like the legislature to report back to me in the 2021 session in terms of numbers, and I've asked the Oregon Housing and Community Services Agency to also keep metrics about the impact on rental housing supply.
Governor, a similar question. Some have asked why allow a potential 10% year-to-year increase that a lot of renters wouldn't be able to handle that 2 years in a row.
So I think, like a number of public policy measures, this is a compromise, and folks came to the table and worked out a solution that they felt would work for the rental housing market. Again, I think we can't stop on this bill alone. We have to redouble our efforts and continue to invest in affordable housing and in market rate housing, obviously creative public-private partnerships around workforce housing communities around the state. So, thank you. Are you guys ready to sign this bill? So we have some kids here. Hi, what's your name?
Alton.
Alton? Well, thanks for joining us. And who's here with you?
What's your name?
Emmy. Hi.
And Mary Ellen.
Mary Ellen. Nice to meet you. I like your skirt. And what's your name?
It's not a skirt, it's a dress.
It's a dress. Okay. All right. Yes, very smart. All right, come on over. I promise I won't bite. Not today. Did you get a new suit for this event?
I want to know if you're wearing your Grinch socks.
Speaker Kotek, you're off the hook. Normally I ask legislators to review the nitty-gritty details of the bill, but we would be here for many hours. So we're just going to go ahead and sign it.
Thank you, Governor.
Let's see. Do you remember what the date is today? Is it February 28th? There we go. Congratulations. Thank you all.